What's up, ninjas? Welcome to Yoga with Dojo Cat. Today's yoga flow, we are going to focus on letting go of anxiety and stress. So maybe you have something going on in your life that's really overwhelming. Maybe something negative is happening and there's so much uncertainty. Today we're going to focus on letting go of those emotions. So if during this yoga flow you feel like your mind is focusing on those external things that are causing you that stress, I want you to think about bringing your mind back to how your body feels on the mat and your breath. I like to count out my breaths, especially for holding poses. But another thing that you can do if that doesn't serve you is to choose a mantra to stay on your inhales and exhales. For example, if you're inhaling, you can say in your mind, everything is going to be okay. And as you're exhaling, you can think, I am letting go of this tension. There are a couple of props that you need today, things that you can easily find at home. So I have just a light blanket here that you can fold up and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can just use a pillow. We're going to begin in our shavasana pose. So if you like, you can go ahead and lay down in a comfortable, safe space. And I'm just going to explain the breathing exercise that we're going to get started with to do. We're going to be using 3-part breath. And it's a breathing exercise that comes in 3 layers and really keeps your mind focused on the practice of breathing, and it also calms your sympathetic nervous system, and that's exactly what we need today. This exercise comes in 3 layers. As you inhale through your nose, you're going to feel the cool air travel down your throat. You're going to feel your chest lift and your belly expand. That's the 3 layers right there. As you exhale, you'll feel your belly deflate, your chest will drop, and the warm air is going to come out of your mouth. We're going to go through a few rounds of that in our shavasana pose. If you like, you can join me in closing your eyes. And you can place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest so you can feel this practice happening. And all together, inhale, that cool air is traveling down your esophagus, filling up your lungs and lifting your chest and filling your belly. And as you exhale, the process reverses. Your belly is dropping, your chest is lowering, and the warm air is being expelled from your mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. Inhale, everything is going to be okay. And exhale, you're releasing tension. One more round. And exhale. You can slowly blink your eyes open and bring your knees to your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. You can stay right here if you'd like. You could rock side to side, massaging your lower back, releasing any tension that you might have in that area. And bring your arms out into a T or cactus pose depending on the space that you have. And we'll drop our knees over to the right. Take your gaze over to that left shoulder. Try to keep that left shoulder pinned to the mat. If you need, you can place the pillow underneath your knees if you need the extra support, if you maybe can't twist that far. Bring your knees back to center and we'll drop them over to the left, taking our gaze over that right shoulder. And bring your knees back to center. From here, we're going to go into our happy baby pose. So you can take your arms and reach in between your legs and reach to the outside of your feet. Or you can take your 2 pointer fingers and grab onto the big toes. Or if you can't quite reach, you can just hold onto your shins and you can stay right here if you like. This is lots. Or if you'd like to go into the full happy baby pose, you can extend your heels to the sky, pulling your knees into your armpits. And then if you like, just like we did in the wind relieving pose, you can rock side to side to massage that lower back. This is a beautiful pose to release any tension in your hips and your back. You'll often hear that you carry a lot of your tension in your hips, and I find that to be true. So whenever I release the tension in my hips, I feel so much better, not only physically, but emotionally too. All right, you can release that pose and bring your heels down to the mat. We're going to go into our reclined pigeon here. So pick up that right ankle and place it over top of the left knee. And if you like, you can stay right here, pressing into that right knee to get a little deeper stretch in that right hip. Or if you need a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can take your hands and interlock them behind that left thigh or over top of the knee if you have the flexibility. So just wherever you are, respect your boundaries. And again, if your mind is wandering, especially in these uncomfortable poses, bring your mind back to that breath. Inhaling, everything is going to be okay. Exhaling, releasing that tension. All right, if you have your hands interlocked behind your leg, I want you to release them and let that foot come back down to the mat. Bring your arms back out to that T or cactus, and we'll drop that right foot all the way down to that left side and take that gaze over the right shoulder for another twist. Release this pose, bringing your legs back to center and bring that right foot back down to the mat. And we'll take our reclined pigeon to the left side. So you can bring that left ankle over top of that right knee. And then wherever you are on this side, just remember your sides are going to be different, whether it be because of the way that you're built, or maybe you have an injury that has changed one side versus the other. You know, there's lots of reasons for that, but it's normal. So I'm going to stay right here, pressing into my knee on this side. And if you have your fingers interlocked behind that right knee, release them. And then we're going to drop that left foot all the way over to the right side, bringing our arms out to the T, taking our gaze to that left shoulder. Release this pose, bringing those legs back to center, and bring that left foot to the mat. Extend your arms and legs out, getting a nice big full body stretch. Beautiful. And we'll bring ourselves up into a seated position. And from here, we're going to go into a garland pose. So we're going to use our props for this. And I know some people don't like to use props because they feel like it's the easy route, but I disagree. Props can be super helpful in not only gauging where you are flexibility wise, but if there's a day when you're already having a hard time, why not take the time to give yourself some self-love to make your day a little bit easier. There's nothing wrong with that, and nothing wrong with just getting some proper alignment going. So we're gonna take our blanket and we're gonna fold it up and place it kind of midway on the mat. And then we're going to bring our feet a little wider than hip distance apart and bring our heels on to the blanket and bring those elbows into your knees, and you're gonna tuck your tailbone in Keep your spine nice and long, but you're gonna find that if you do this pose regularly without the blanket, having the blanket makes the pose a lot easier to do. So you might be able to spend a little bit more time in this pose with that extra support. So this is a pretty intense hip stretch. Go back to that breath. Count your breaths if you need to. The outside world doesn't matter right now. You're just taking this time for yourself, and you are worthy of this time. You deserve to take some time to give your muscles a little bit of love. One more deep breath all together. And exhale. You can bring your hands to the mat and straighten your legs. And then we're just gonna lift our heels and take that blanket, setting it aside, and meet in our forward fold. Don't be afraid to give yourself a little bend in your knees. We don't want to hyperextend any of our joints today. And then we're gonna really slowly roll one vertebrae at a time all the way up, rolling our shoulders up and down at the top, meeting in our mountain pose. We're gonna get a couple of side bends going here. So inhale your hands to the sky, interlock your fingers over top of that left wrist, and we're gonna take our left foot and cross it over top of that right foot. And then take a deep breath in and exhale, bend over to the right. This is gonna be a pretty intense but beautiful stretch in that left side. Bring yourself back to center, release your arms down to your hips, unwind your legs. We'll take that to the other side. Inhale your hands to the sky, grab onto that right wrist, take that right foot, cross it over to the left, deep breath in, exhale, bending over to the left. And release, coming back to center, arms down to your hips, uncross that leg. All right, you're gonna need to go to the top of your mat for this next portion. We're gonna do a sun salutation. So when you're ready, inhale your hands to the sky. Exhale, lean back as if you're trying to reach something behind you. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, plant your hands, step back one foot, and then the other, meeting in plank. Shift forward, drop 90 degrees, chaturanga, uncurl your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. Beautiful. We're gonna do that one more time. So when you are ready, bend the knees, gaze forward, hop, step, or float into our forward fold. Really slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Roll your shoulders up and down at the top. Inhale your hands to the sky. Exhale, lean backwards. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Plant your hands, step back one foot, and then the other for our plank pose. Shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, this time into our child's pose. Bring your forehead to the mat, your big toes to touch. And spread your fingers nice and wide. Keep those forearms lifted. And take your mind back to that breath. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, release that tension. Beautiful. You can press out of that child's pose. And we're going to grab our bolster. You can bring it into the center of your mat. And we are going to recline all the way onto our back. Bringing our bolster up to our bum, lift your hips up into a bridge and bring it underneath your bum, giving yourself some support here. When you're ready, when you feel nice with that bolster underneath you, extend your legs to the sky, flex the feet. If you like, you can flex and point your toes while you're in this position. You can roll your ankles in one direction and the other. And then bend the knees, bring your feet back down to the mat. From here, we're going to shift that bolster down so that it's under our knees here. Okay, just to give us a little extra support. And you can sit up with me. So we're just going to do a seated forward fold, but having this bolster underneath our knees is going to make the pose a lot easier. So this is a great thing to do if you don't have a lot of flexibility in your legs. I know a lot of people really try to like reach and strain themselves to get their hands to their feet, which could cause a strain in your muscles, and we don't want that, especially today. You know, life is hard enough. We don't need to make it harder for ourselves. So adding something underneath your knees to give them that bend is going to be really helpful for you. From here, roll those shoulders up and down away from your ears. Inhale those hands to the sky. And exhale, hinging forward at the hips and grabbing on to either your shins, or if you can reach them, your feet, and just folding forward, trying to ideally touch your nose to your knees. Inhaling all together, everything is going to be okay. And exhaling to let go of that stress and tension. Beautiful. You can roll all the way up. And we're going to keep that bolster where it is underneath our legs. And from here, we're going to go into our shavasana. So you can take your blanket and put it underneath your head, or if you like, you can unfold it and bring it over top of you just to make yourself a little extra cozy. And we're going to roll all the way back down onto our back, one vertebrae at a time. Bringing your head onto that blanket. Or if you like, you can use the bolster underneath your head and then cover yourself with the blanket, whatever you feel like you need today. Again, one hand on our chest, one hand on our belly, and we will go back to that 3-part breath all together. Inhaling, filling the throat with that cool air, filling the lungs and then the belly, and then exhaling, reversing that process. The belly will drop, the lungs will deflate, and you'll feel that warm air expel through your mouth. And as you exhale, let any remaining tension leave your body. Relax the muscles on your forehead and around the eyes. Unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Let your glutes and quads melt into the mats and bolster. Relax your calves and your feet. And just remember, when you are going through a hard time, that nothing is forever. So whatever you're going through right now, someday it'll be over, someday it'll just be a memory. And everything is going to be just fine. if you'd like, you can pause this video for a longer shavasana. But if you are ready to continue on with your day with me, you can blink open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then we'll get one more big stretch, extending our arms and legs nice and long. And as you exhale, you can turn over onto your side and then gently press yourself up and come into a comfortable seated position. I'm going to take this bolster underneath my bum and cross my legs. All right, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this really helped you let go of any anxiety. And just remember that you are worthy of this time. This is not a waste of time just lying on the mat. Especially if you're having a hard time, you need moments like this. You also need to do things for yourself, like go take a hot bath, do something that brings you joy. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you in my little dojo. If you like, you can follow me on Instagram at dojocat713. And that is it for now. I will see you guys next time. Os.